We off and running.
Let's get the show on the road. We were late, and we're live with the Run and Gun podcast. Almost did it again, but I did not. Give me credit.
We did.
We're on
We did.
episode 6. We're
Yes, the
going.
NFL Combine is here this weekend. But yes, welcome to the Run and Gun podcast. As Ace said already. Well, I already said it. That's Ace. I'm Jay Peeps.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got a great one for you tonight. I will start by saying this though. I know, really realistically, hell, I'm wearing a North Carolina T-shirt, but I could really give a rat's ass what the culture thinks. I know what I am, and it's not up for those asses to determine what I am. But I know there's been a lot going on in the Twitter streets and stuff about bad blood between YouTube podcasters and stuff like that. Ace has seen it, I've seen it, and everything. I could really care less. We know what we do. We're not going to change what we do to fit some narrative for somebody else.
The narrative thing in the media is one of the most aggravating things out there for me. You know what I mean? Like, I was watching the national media's reaction to the Clippers losing last night to the, I think, Timberwolves.
Mm-hmm.
And they made this big deal about how the Clippers were 0-3 without Westbrook. And the best
Right.
part about it was it's saying how Westbrook not a winner or whatever. The Mavericks are 1-4 with Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic together. They did not mention that at all.
Interesting. Because the media has a narrative. I've seen this so many times with like just white media, Tampa Bay sports media.
It's not even white media. It's like people want to do sports, right? They like want to talk sports, but then they get into their fixed narratives, and that's
Mhm.
what they make their whole shows about. So it's just like here I trying to we're trying to build something here that we try to keep it objective without some BS narratives that would paint guys in negative lights if there's nothing warranting that.
Yeah, like
Like media finds guys they want to hate on and they hate on those guys no
ex-
matter what they do.
exactly. And this is why I had to get somebody around April of last year. Someone was like, "Oh, well, he only cares about FAMU." I was like, "No, you." And I called him a jackass. And I was like, you know, it's not that I care about FAMU. I was like, yeah, I was raised in that. That's what I know. But if I didn't care about every HBCU, I wouldn't be doing what I do every Saturday during football season. I wouldn't be doing this. So, again, tell me where it's like I don't care. So that's just my 2 cents. We have a good show for you guys tonight, but we just had to get that off our chest. We do have a great show for you
We're
guys.
finished our soliloquy. We're gonna talk combine, some HBCU Legacy Bowl stuff. Well, that happened to last week, but we're gonna touch on some things that were mentioned about it this last week, and then talking
And
about the guys in the combine.
two players from the HBCU Legacy Bowl made a name for themselves this past weekend. We're gonna talk about it. It's gonna be interesting. Yeah, that's one of them. That's one of them. If you can read in between the lines, America. So yeah, don't go anywhere. The intro's next. Let's get
Be a
it.
friend, tell a friend, like, share, subscribe. Run the intro.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is JP.
This is the Bug.
This is JC.
This is Flash.
This is Jimi Hendrix.
And you are listening to
And you're listening to
And you're listening to the Run and Gun Podcast.
All right. I do love our intro. We gotta update that thing, but I like it.
Yeah, we really do.
It's coming time because we a whole sports calendar is coming past. But Won't worry, we're
We
gonna
need to redo the part where like this is part, like, you know, the words at the beginning.
We do. We need to get Mr. Sasser on that because he handles that type
I'm
of
not even on that.
I know, and we have to work on that. We gotta get that for you. So we're gonna eventually do that. We have to really dedicate to that one day.
Summer. Probably
Yes,
summer.
yes. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into
Let's
it.
get into the goodies.
Yes, the
Where's
HBCU.
our background? There we go.
So I'm gonna just start off and say this because it's the mouse in the house that needs to be addressed. FAMU basketball didn't deserve to go to the SWAC tournament. I don't know if you saw it. What was it? Thursday night? No, not Thursday night. Got it because it's Wednesday. I don't know if you saw it Monday night, like how I did, but that was a hideous product. More so the second half, because
More so the last possession.
yeah, last possession, like it was. It's bad whenever even your own fans get up and just walk out. That he hit him with the Jordan game. What was that? Game 6,
Game 6.
1998 crossover.
Utah.
Flush it.
Hold it.
Oh, and it didn't help. Oh, I'd have been right there. Like I'd have just like all the brothers of Phi Beta Sigma that just turned around and just walked out. I'd have been right there with them. I'd have been like,
yeah, it's not good.
It's time to go. That was horrible. The first half was not bad though. I will say, the second half was the hardest part to watch because that's where you just saw the mental errors take place, and they literally let Southern back into the game after leading, I think, by 13. The lead got cut down to 4, and then next thing you know, Southern was leading by a couple of possessions. They tried to fight back, and then, it was over from there. Their season comes to an end March 4th in Daytona, so they'll be here to play Bethune. I'm not going to that because I don't want to see that hideous display. Quite honestly, I'm just gonna call it what it is. You want like our pre-intro montage where we talked about not being biased. I'm not going to be biased here and say, well, if they pull it together and they really believe, no, I'm not going to sugarcoat and put Disney quotes in this. No, FAMU basketball is not good. They're not. I'm sorry, it's just not. And
it's not like you're hating on them or anything. It's just
exactly
it's not good. It's not their year this year.
Exactly. Wasn't their year last year either. But so it's like, do I want them to be good? Yeah, because then it gives us something to really talk about. But then it's like, if you're losing like this and everything, which by the way, I mentioned it on Twitter. State high school championships started today. Runs from March 1st through March 4th or March 5th, I believe. There should be at least one scout.
Yeah.
Yeah, there should be at least one scout watching
at each one.
Yeah. Handing out scholarships, literally, because you know how much talent is on the court at the semifinals and state championships these next couple of days in Lakeland.
Mm-hmm.
Polk County, home of the MVP of the HBC Legacy Bowl.
My man, with the comment of it. That's so wrong. Now, let me ask you this, drunk. Were you racing it in a GTR, a Porsche 911?
Oh, my God.
Or a Corvette Z8?
Oh, my God.
Or an Expedition? If you know, you know, and why I ask for each one.
Or did you race them in a Bronco? If you know, you know. That's what I want to know.
Vibes,
do you race them in a Bronco?
The vibes. We'll get into that later. We'll get into that later, drunk.
Yeah.
That is. We'll get into that. If you get the Porsche 911, if you get the Z8, and if you get the Bronco, you know.
Yeah, if you get the Bronco, you really know. You really know. Trust me. You saw it on live TV if you saw the Bronco. But where were we at? So speaking of Polk County, Xavier Smith had a pretty good day in the HBC Legacy Bowl. He earned himself some money. He's someone I thought him and Jason Dumas from Southern, both two guys that I felt should also be getting combine invites.
I think Xavier played himself into getting drafted.
I think so too. I think so
Because
too.
4.38s, generally, if you run under the 4.4s, you're probably gonna get drafted. If you route run and play special teams like Xavier does, you
Hmm.
got a good chance of getting drafted.
Of course, and it won't be an early pick. It won't be a day 2 pick. I'm sorry. It's
It'll
gonna
be
be
a take probably
it's
sixth flyer. Teams like good franchises who know how to develop players. Kansas City. I wouldn't shock me if the Rams take a peek at him. They took Jacoby Durant last year. Wouldn't shock me if they go to Xavier this year. So it's gonna be an interesting one.
it
But
is.
he's made a name for himself.
He definitely did, and I was thoroughly impressed because honestly, like I had always been wondering for the longest, like what does he run and what does he run on the 40? So and honestly, he has a chance to build off of that 4.38, 4.39 when he gets to his pro days, which is going to be another opportunity for him to get seen by even more scouts. So there'll be more scouts focused on him and everything. Because if you look at the clip of when he ran his 40, not like the TV clip, but like the little media clip that someone took a video of, you can hear scouts in the background just saying like, "Woo, sheesh," and I'm just like, "Yeah, he like that." If you've seen him play in person, you know he's like that. Trust me.
See, if he went undrafted, I'd say the Saints were gonna guaranteed to sign him like how they did Rashid this year.
Mm-hmm.
But I doubt he goes drafted. And they do have 2 6 in the 7th. I don't know. Or 2 7s or something like that. They have like a couple of late picks. But still, wouldn't surprise me if you see like a team like that who do go after undrafted guys. They might just take them in the 7th to keep them on the contract and not have to bid or give all that guaranteed money.
Because see, to me,
You see
honestly,
that?
he is he's someone that I honestly think should get like if he doesn't get drafted, he needs to get a call right away, like how Marquise Bell did from the Dallas Cowboys. He needs to get a call right away. You don't
And
you
getting at least 300 guaranteed.
exactly because he needs and honestly for whoever his first team is, if he doesn't stick with one team during training camp, I could see him making it to at least the first preseason game, guaranteed.
He's gonna make it through the first preseason game for sure.
Yeah, so like I said, man, I'm looking forward to it, man. Um, he definitely made a name for himself. Someone else mentioned it too. It was like the top 6 players in HBC football right now didn't know or they didn't play because the HBC Legacy Bowl is like literally a week before the combine, and then it's like a lot of those top players played in the Senior Bowl because they have a better chance of getting drafted. So it's like a lot of people have been saying, move back the HBC Legacy Bowl to, you know, play to allow those guys to play in 2 games to put more tape on. It's a good idea. I can understand it, but I don't think at the same time too a lot of guys play multiple Senior Bowls like that. Would y'all rather go undrafted as a talented player, be a 5th round, or later? Honestly,
It's a good question, but you could also get more guaranteed money if you get undrafted.
I was gonna say the opposite. I'd rather be a 5th round pick and just go out there and work for it and make
If
a name for it.
that true too, but if you undrafted, sometimes you can get like 300, 400 grand guaranteed already. Most rookie contracts in like 5th and later rounds, I don't think you get that.
That's
I'm
actually
gonna just look it up to double check that the average contract is for
yeah, look
rookie
that
5th
up.
round pick.
Because honestly, I was thinking that you do. I knew you were at least guaranteed 4 years on a rookie deal if you are a 5th round pick and you do end up making like being
You can
successful.
make 4 year 3.64 million if you had a first pick in the 5th round with a salary of 698. So I mean, it works out if you're a 5th round pick, but I don't know about 6th round.
I'd rather
I gotta
see it.
just make sure.
I
That's
wouldn't.
642 to 690, 62, but I don't know how much guaranteed money it is.
Mm. I mean, like I said, I'd be down to be a 5th round pick. I'd be cool with it because it's like I know I'm at
You
least
get a
like,
bigger signing bonus if you're undrafted.
really.
If you're a really good undrafted player, you get a bigger signing bonus. But the contract overall is a little bit smaller.
Mm.
But then again, if you're a 5th round pick and you get cut, you're not going to see half that contract anyway. So.
See, I have confidence in myself though, where it's like I'm not going to get cut. I got confidence in myself to where I'm not going to get cut. So it's like I'm thinking to myself, if I'm a 5th round pick, and I prove to myself that like I should have been taken higher, then it's like I'm guaranteed to be
I
where
got
I'm.
to do the We Live tweet. My bad. I'm going to go do that.
Oh, you're good. You're good. But yeah, no, I feel like if I'm like a 5th round pick and I show that I deserve to be there, I'm guaranteed to be there for at least 4 years. And if they want to pay me, they can't franchise tag me. They got to pay me. Otherwise, then I can go somewhere else. Even same deal too if you're an undrafted free agent. But it's like undrafted free agent, you could be let go at any minute. You could be let go at any minute. And I think that's
Look at that tweet I put for the We Live tweet.
yeah, and I think that's
While
the
you
thing.
do that.
Wait, let me see.
Well, I'm mostly asked that because you'd be able to choose your team as an undrafted. That is true too. And choose the best spot to succeed over being a 5th round. And also, if you're an undrafted free agent and you make a name for yourself, you're going down in history probably.
It is true because that's how Terrell Davis. No, wait, did that? Is that? No, that was
Or a 7th round pick, you make a name for yourself, or a 6th round pick. 5th round is kind of but guys who go 7th and 6th round guys are the ones who have those
John
big names.
Randall. That's the name. That's how John Randall made a name for himself. He was because his story is very similar to what Drunk is saying. Because the Bucks let him go, and then he ended up in Minnesota, and he ended up he lied about his weight because he put a chain in his pants and tied it around his waist, and he made weight, and then he got a shot like that because he was very underweight when he first started. But it does work out in the end. But yeah. So in other news too, Isaiah Land hits the field tomorrow. He will be I believe the lone HBCU player tomorrow showing out. But there'll be a couple other FCS guys performing as well too this weekend. So kudos to Isaiah Land. Ace, I need a brief prediction. What's Isaiah Land's 40 time going to be?
What's the average 40 for a defensive end or
It
a
can vary.
linebacker?
It can vary.
Some of them are really in like the low 4.7s, 4.6s, I think.
I'll put it
And
like
they're
this.
really 4.9s. Like,
I'll put it like this. Jordan Davis from Georgia ran a 4.78 last year as a defensive lineman. So anything is possible at this point to me, to be honest with you. I would.
Look, a pass rushing linebacker 40 time average.
It could be 4.5. Honestly, wouldn't surprise me. I feel like the fastest is 4.5.
Isaiah Simmons ran a 4.39. Micah Parsons 4.39.
They were.
All right, I'm gonna go. 4.52.
I gotta quote tweet that.
Well, save it for if he actually does it.
Nah, we gotta be bold. We gotta go for it now.
You're gonna do it? Okay, fine. Let me go. Give me
You go ahead and transition. Go ahead and transition.
Let me think about it. Let me think about it again. Because Michael Parsons ran a 4.39. Michael Parsons was a freak athlete, but Isaiah Lyon, no one touching him. You know what? Give me 4.49. I'm feeling bold tonight. I'm going 4.49.
Okay, I'm with you.
I doubt it, but still, give me 4.49.
Go ahead. You transition for us. I'm gonna put this.
All right. So this is a little thing I want to do. So what do we got? Didn't Devin Bush run 4.4 and he was? Yeah, that too. But Devin Bush also, he was off one. Then he was good, and then he tore his ACL, and then he became dog crap. So you got to keep that in mind with Devin Bush.
Facts.
That is true too. But also, Devin White was off ball. Isaiah Land's going to be a pass rushing linebacker and more of in a 3-4 scheme. Think some like he's a bit wider, Shaq Barrett.
Who? Isaiah Land?
Yeah, kind of like that kind of linebacker type play.
That is true. They are about the same because honestly, if you look at the
He's just a
skill,
little bit lighter right now.
he is, and as he gets older, he'll put weight on, and as he gets with a specific trainer and everything, and gets on a certain meal plan to put on more weight, and realize that he's going to start shedding his baby weight and become more of a man, he will continue to get bigger, stronger, faster, and he'll adjust to the NFL speed. All right, it's out there now.
Oh boy.
I
But
like.
there was a thing I wanted to do. So the NFLPA came out with like report cards for like NFL training facilities.
I
This is for
did.
HBCU. Keep it back on HBCU.
Keep it back on HBCU.
Yeah, I just want to do something quick. Let me just pull up what the report card was.
Okay. For Isaiah Lamb.
No. This is for like HBCU teams. I want to do it for FAMU and Bethune-Cookman, which would grade them.
Okay.
All right. So out of treatment of families, so like if they're providing daycares and stuff like that, what would you give FAMU from an A to F?
Oh Jesus. We're doing this for college team. Look, okay, don't start with families for me. Go somewhere
Okay,
else.
fine. We'll do the main stuff for players: food service and nutrition,
It's a C.
weight room.
It could be better. You know what? To hell with it. I'm gonna be vaguely honest. Even though it was upgraded and it looks better, it's it's a 69.5. So it's a D, but it could be a C. You could round it up and make it a C, but I'm gonna be very petty and just say 69.5, so it's still a D.
All right.
I don't
Strength
round
coaches,
A plus. Actually, no, no,
training room.
no. Strength coaches, B plus.
All right, training room.
Training room, C minus. It could be better.
All right, training staff.
A plus.
Locker room.
Walk room. What do you? Oh, locker room. I think you said walk room.
Yeah, sorry. Locker room. My bad.
Locker room compared to what it was, I give it an A minus.
All right,
I'm a,
and team
I like
travel.
carpet. I'm a fan of carpet. Well, what was the
Team
next?
travel.
Team travel.
Team travel.
F. But they're college kids too, so they don't travel. The hotel situation is not going to be like the NFL situation or like the
No,
NFL
okay, let
situation.
me rephrase it. Like dorms. Let's just keep it at dorms.
Ugh. Okay, so they just built FAMU towers, and a lot of these, and then some of the older guys live off campus. So I'm gonna say A plus.
All right. Now let's do
But you
Bethune
also
Cook.
don't live by your. And also in college, it's hard because most kids don't live by themselves; they have roommates.
Okay. I just want to do Bethune Cookman too because of all the issues that came out with Ed Reed and stuff like that.
Okay, go
All
ahead.
right, food service and nutrition. I'm gonna give it like a C too because like I really don't know.
No, I've seen video of them finding mold on cheese and on buns. That is a
Okay, F.
that F. That's a F minus
Weight
minus.
room.
John
Weight
Tapper,
room.
John Tapper from Bar Rescue needs to go in there and shut that down. Pork and beans on a bun. And the bun has a big giant dark black mold spot on it. It is so unhealthy. Drunk. It's pitiful. It is very pitiful. Like I said, they need John Taffer to go in there. He's the only person that can fix that.
Gordon Ramsay.
If
Hell's
Gordon Ramsay
Kitchen.
goes, it's so many health violations. It's unreal. But go on. You said weight room.
Weight room.
I've seen videos of their weight room. Their weight room's pretty nice. I give it a C minus. It was. It really was, honestly, because I have to agree with he's right because honestly, like there was a trend there because A&T was the standard for a very long time for like I want to say 4 years, 4 or 5 years, and then FAMU was slowly getting ready to overtake them, and they did overtake them because I felt 2020 was the year, and then Jackson State came up like that and just took it out of the stratosphere. Like Dion came in and changed Jackson State, like all of it. He left it much better than he found it. So I
All
would
right,
agree with that.
let's finish out the rest of it quick. Strength coaches
Strength coaches, hell, do they even have any? Do they even have a place to do that stuff? Strength coaches, I'd say, it's a D. It's a D because Bethune late in
training room,
the finish. Wait, what else?
training room,
Training room. Hell, do they even have one? I'm gonna say D. D.
training staff,
They didn't have a whole lot of injuries, honestly. So I'm gonna go ahead and say C plus.
and locker room and team travel. I'm gonna give locker room an F and well dorms instead of team travel also F.
Team travel situation, I have to give them an F. An F. I'm not gonna give them an F minus, but I have to give them an F with an asterisk because of the fact that they had to deal with a hurricane and they had to relocate. They stayed in Mississippi. I think for what two
Hmm.
weeks or something like that. They were gone for a while.
All right, let's get into the NFL now.
Okay, I like that though because honestly, I did see what you're talking about and stuff because they. I think. Oh wait, I have it. I have it here. I have it.
Because the Bucks didn't do good in that.
Honestly, no one did well. If you ask me, I think the best team was the Vikings. Yeah, here it is right here.
Hmm.
Other teams that had Fs besides the Bucks: the Colts, the Chiefs, the Titans, and the Commanders at F. 6 teams were
I know
rated worse for families. 5 teams were rated worse for nutrition. The
the
Vikings.
Cardinals were the worst. Cardinals were by far the worst. I heard because they were charging players for food.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they were the only team that actually charged players for meals.
How do you charge players for food at a facility where they? That's so stupid.
They take like specific meals. They take it out of your payroll, and if you eat food after the season is over, like if you're in the workout at the off season, they charge you for that too.
That's dumb. That's very dumb. That see, I hate that because I mean, God, that's so stupid. That's because I've always felt that if you are an NFL player, you've already worked to get to that point in your life, and then you're basically already working your butt off. They're already paying you. You've done what you need to do. Those cooks are supposed to, cater to you. That's actually interesting. I thought the Cardinals would be too, considering, but yeah, I thought they would have been, yeah, of course. Have you seen their setup and stuff during Hard Knocks in season training camp? Like it's not all that, man. It's really not. And then the Buck situation. One Buck place opened in what 2006. The Bucks prior to that old One Buck was one of the worst places. I think the Bucks had to rent out like a food truck to bring their players food back then. Like the year they won the
Wow.
first Super Bowl. Like, oh yeah, dude, it was horrible. Like the lockers were wooden and stuff and everything. Like it looked very high schoolish, like early 2000s high schoolish. So like, and then plus One Buck had a MRSA scare back in like 2012 or 2013 or something like that. So yeah, they need to upgrade their stuff.
I knew Glazer wasn't big on investing into the teams for most part until last 4 years.
Because they were
And
getting
even
ready to
so,
sell. Because here's the thing, they just recently sold Manchester United.
this only got renovated because of
They
college
won.
football championship.
So no,
It got
Raymond James,
renovated for the championship.
it got yes, the video boards and everything and the fan experience has gotten much better because it was very like it's like watching HD and develop in person, which is crazy if you ask me. So because honestly, it needed to get renovated because it knew it was going to have the national championship the year Alabama and Clemson played, and then it knew the people knew that they were going to be hosting Super Bowl 55, so they had to get it ready for that too. And I think there are still more renovations yet to come. Honestly, the crow's nest thing is going away. Those end zone seats that were opposite of the pirate ship, that's going away because now that Brady's gone.
Hmm.
Uh, well, of course, let's be honest. But yeah, no, that's Raymond James is like what I'm soon to be 26. So Raymond James is going into its 25th season this year. So it needs a little bit more work, honestly. There's a lot of older stadiums out there that have been around since the 90s that need more work. But I will say there is one stadium that I thought was okay, and it's Texas Stadium. That doesn't exist anymore. I thought that stadium was fine, but Jerry Jones wanted a bigger and better stadium, and boy did he build one.
Yeah, that stadium is also a pain in the neck to play at 4 o'clock at.
It is because the sun is right there, and I don't know. Well, I understand they always put the Cowboys on at 4 o'clock. I
Yeah,
understand.
but like most stadiums are built. I know they're built. I think east
East west.
west.
Yeah, so like the sun is going over you in setting, but theirs is built north south, so the sun
Yeah.
is right there coming through that glass.
Mm-hmm.
It's
That
horrible.
just it just feels like a design flaw. I don't know who decided that. It's just like a
Jerry
terrible
Jones.
idea.
Jerry Jones. He decided it
I know it's Cherry Jones, but it's just a dumb idea.
because he wasn't thinking when he did it.
You want to be bigger and different.
Of course. And then the thing is he keeps saying like he won't raise the board because some punters like Jay Camarda have hit it here recently when they punt,
Mm-hmm.
and he still won't raise it. So it's I don't get it.
All right.
I don't get it.
Back onto the real talks. Fournette, Donovan Smith, gone.
That doesn't surprise me. That does not
We knew
surprise.
that was coming.
I to be honest with you, Jerry Jones is a vampire. His sweet
Hey,
hat.
now he wrong. Is he
He's
wrong?
right. He's absolutely right.
Bro,
He's
this thing
absolutely
bent
right.
as hell. There we go. It's a little more straight. That's bent.
Maybe that's why he got the Cowboys out of Texas Stadium.
He wanted to be in the shade.
Yeah.
That's probably why he built it north south.
It makes sense to me. Because even when he goes down on the field, he's not in the sun. I've only ever seen Jerry Jones in the sun a few times. Because every time he goes on TV during NFL training camp live on NFL Network, he's in the shade with a hat on, with some shades on. When he's on the field, he's in the shade. Um, yeah, I've only seen Jerry Jones in the sun one time, and that was when he went in the Hall of Fame. And even then, I think the sun was going down. So you're right. Jerry Jones really might be a vampire, or he might be like a spawn of Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars. I think you'd like that. Me throwing Palpatine in there like that, and I know you're Star Wars.
All right.
Too.
Okay. What else? We got Carr meeting Carolina, New Orleans, New York, and others in Indianapolis. The combat. I honestly think the second Rodgers announces he's going back to Green Bay, which I'm like 90% sure is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I give it 10 minutes to an hour tops before it's announced Carr's going to the Jets.
It wouldn't surprise me because I'm trying to. It was the Jets GM who did say,
Woody Johnson, yeah.
he mentioned yesterday that the only person he can talk about that is a free agent right now is Derek Carr. But he said that they do have their eyes on other quarterbacks, but they can't name them right away. So it shall be an interesting next couple of days. Wait a minute, what just happened? Looking at something that developed. I thought I saw something that developed.
Garoppolo, Carr, Rodgers, whoever's the worst, ends up in Carolina.
I feel like
Carolina's the interesting one because I'd expect them to be after Carr, but then there's these reports saying, well, oh, they're going to be looking at a mid-tier quarterback and they're going to draft one and they're going to re-sign Sam Darnold, yada, yada, yada. To me, it just doesn't make sense to sign Sam Darnold, or for Sam Darnold to sign there for that matter, if you're going to draft Anthony Richardson.
my thing is, why not just stick with the boy from Ole Miss that they drafted originally?
Matt Corral, because Frank Reich didn't draft him probably.
That makes sense too. That makes sense because now you just wasted that kid's career. He'll probably be in the XFL or the USFL in a few years now. Sad to say, but
See,
yeah,
if he was smart, he would probably sign with an USFL team. Or yeah, USFL is the one coming up next in April or whatever.
yeah.
So if he was smart, he would sign with them if he's fully healthy, sign in the USFL, show what he's got,
Mm-hmm.
and then come back to the NFL. Because when the USFL did their draft, they drafted players like Isaiah Land who
They
are
did.
gonna be drafted in the NFL, but it's similar to like how it works in the KHL and NHL where Russian guys get drafted into the KHL when they're like 17, 16. And then their rights also get drafted into the NHL. And if they ever want, they can also go back to that team because their rights are with that team in the KHL. So it's like that's how I assume that's how it's working right now between the USFL, XFL, and the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So like if Corral signed with USFL, he can show what he's got. And I think as Drunk says here, yeah, I was a believer in Matt Corral, so like if he went and he went into the USFL and he balled out, like does that convince a team? Because if Carolina goes after a rookie to get Frank Reich, his guy,
It can. Look, Doug Williams has
he can
been.
go somewhere else.
Doug Williams left the NFL, went to the USFL, played for the Houston Gamblers, and then got picked back up by an NFL team during a strike year and won a Super Bowl. So I mean, it's possible. Matt Corral could do the same thing. Jim Kelly played a little bit of USFL ball, so it's very much possible. One Hall of Famer, one Black college football Hall of Famer, both with Super Bowl experience. One of them with a ring. Both played USFL ball.
See, with Bieniemy now in Washington, it's kind of interesting because like 3 weeks ago they said how Sam Howell is the starter QB1 next season. Then
Mhm.
Bieniemy gets signed, and like 3 days or 4 days later, then it comes out Sam Howell is not starting quarterback next year, and they're gonna have a competition.
So
And I'm like,
actually,
does Bieniemy? I thought Bieniemy wanted a vet.
Ron Rivera addressed this at the combine actually just yesterday. So he did say that right now Sam Howell is the leader in the clubhouse, but Sam Howell will have competition at the same time. So it's his, in a sense, it's his job, but it's his job to lose. So it's not a surefire guarantee he will be the starter week one. But for now, when they roll out whatever they roll out with, he's taking the first team snaps. So he'll be the one, as of now, throwing the ball to Terry McLaurin and company. But if they do say bring in Jimmy Garoppolo as a valuable backup or something like that, how confident are you that Sam Howell can beat out Jimmy G?
I think they're better than the Giants, depending on the Daniel Jones contract. Yeah.
And honestly, with him, he's asking way above what the Giants are willing to give him.
He wants 45 million.
That's not happening. Jalen Hurts, he earned his money. He earned his 45 million. Daniel Jones with his numbers, no. I'm sorry, dog. I know I'm just a drunk, but I never saw a problem with Taylor Heineke being. I didn't
see
either.
you and me asking the same questions.
I
guess because they want a next level guy or whatever.
Yeah, they want someone that can take them over the top. But honestly, I mean, look, Taylor Heineke, I thought he was good too. He was capable.
He should have had a playoff win on his resume. So like,
Honestly, I feel like if they'd have done a little bit more for him, he he could have got to the playoffs last year. He could have snuck in. I don't know. I hate the fact that they benched him. Honestly, like I think he deserves another shot somewhere because he can play in this league if he's in the right situation. I really do. It's just unfortunate. So I mean, hopefully, honestly, ship him off to Houston. Let him see. Let's see what he can do. Or send him to Carolina. Let's see what he can do. Or send him to Atlanta. But it's unlikely he's going to
No,
Atlanta.
they're gonna go Desmond Ritter or Lamar.
They should give Desmond Ritter a chance. Honestly, they should.
Desmond Ritter, last quarterback to beat Tom Brady in the regular season.
Let's see what happens. Even though Brady played for like one series, but let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's see, because you never know.
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly, it's so much speculation around Lamar right now with the Ravens and stuff. Because it's like okay, Todd Monken's there, and it's like, okay, is he going to get tagged? Is he going to get released? Is he going to get cut? Or well, released and cut are the same thing. Is he going to get traded somewhere? Is he going to get extended? It's, I'm just ready to see whatever happened to him happen to him. It gives you a headache trying to keep up with Lamar right now. He needs to get his money, but it's like Jesus Christ, dude. Just do something.
Yeah. In all seriousness, what do you think about this thing with Seattle looking to take a quarterback? And what does that mean for God, I almost said Jimmy G. Geno Smith.
I think that there's some type of something brewing there where I think
You know want more money than he's gonna get?
either that or Jason Light's trying to pull a fast one to get Dave Canales. I think that's his name. A QB to push Trask. And so I think they want to be ready for whatever, and I think they know too. Like, although I think Geno Smith is a starter in this league too, like Taylor Heineke, I think that the Seahawks are
Wouldn't
trying
shock
to.
me if Geno's in some computer.
Wouldn't shock me either, but I think what it
Yes,
is Seattle.
Canales it was in Seattle.
Yeah, I think Seattle's looking for that next big, heavy hitting home run QB, like how Carolina is. Because I think both franchises realize, like we can really we can do damage and dominate. We just need a big time shot caller, and I think that's what they're trying to do. We all like Geno, but we all know Geno's is winning a playoff isn't winning a playoff
Isn't.
draft. Yeah, yeah.
But see,
You
my
got
thing is, you're gonna take one at 5. Then, do you believe Will Levis or Anthony Richardson that guy immediately? It
yeah.
wouldn't shock me now if Bobby Wagner come back.
You got Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, C.J. Stroud might still be there. Also, too, they could trade that pick and move up to try to get ahead of Houston.
Hey, they got 5, and I think they got 20. 5 and
They,
20 get you number 1? Probably not. You're probably gonna need to add a second in there, a third,
yeah, see, it's
and
interesting.
go get Bryce Young. Bryce Young was, remember, that's what everybody thought when Russell Wilson got traded. Seattle was tanking. They didn't take a quarterback in the draft last year. Oh, they're definitely tanking, guys. They're gonna go get Bryce Young.
But I will say, I still feel like somewhere in that top 5, Will Anderson is going to go to.
Oh, Will Anderson, 100%. This is gonna take us back to this comment, what I'm gonna get into right now. So Will Anderson is a thing I brought up on Twitter earlier today. Is like, if you're Houston, right? Does the prospect, like the no, how I should say this, the yeah, I'm gonna just stick with prospect of having Will Anderson this year, and let's say an offensive lineman at number 12, and then have another bad year and having a much better quarterback in Caleb or Drake, Caleb or Drake May, you have that situation where then you go and you're like, does that outweigh the possibility of having Bryce Young or CJ Stroud at number 2 this year? So essentially, it's like, is passing up on a generational pass rusher who's better than every pass rusher in next year's class outweigh? I'm sorry, this man just
I'm
distracted.
thoroughly convinced
That's
CJ
not it.
sucks in the NFL.
This ain't the one that got me laughing.
These comments.
This is the one that got me.
I'll draft Jalen Carr with 2.
His trunk, you mean? Sorry, crossing a line. My bad. Rewind it.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a prospect of having a generational pass rusher that's better than every defensive end or pass rusher. I don't even know what position he's gonna play, D end or linebacker. Outweigh if he's gonna be better than everyone next year. Does that outweigh taking Bryce Young or CJ Stroud this year and trying to roll with that team without a pass rush at all next year?
Well, the ultimate goal of the draft is really, address your needs, but at the same
They
time,
got so many needs.
At the same time, to take the best player available. So, I mean, for Houston, they need a lot of freaking help, dude. They're going to still be building next year as well, too, because they're not winning the AFC South. Not with Tennessee and Jacksonville both, having a little bit of an edge. And then you never know what's going to happen with Indianapolis. Well, actually, Indianapolis is going to be sorry, too. So, I mean, they got a lot of work to do. They need to hit the right places. I'd say, it's tough, but you may have to go with the generational talent and Will Anderson. People are going to scold you for it, but it takes time. You got to just buy into the process, and hopefully their draft picks hit. I'm building up the defense and the offensive lines, and then I'm drafting a quarterback next year. Draft Jalen Carter. We can do a year in the pen, draft Caleb Williams, number 1 pick, win a Super Bowl in 2 years. That makes sense, honestly. Heck, the Cowboys did that with Roger Staubach in a sense. He served his time in Vietnam. This is really messed up, though. That is really messed up, though. I know, but geez. But
that whole Jalen Carter, oh my god. But I mean, what's gonna save him is it was misdemeanors and not felonies. But I told someone this. I said he was gonna fall to 29 for the Saints because somebody on this. I was joking, saying how he wanted Jalen Carter the Saints straight up and get Jalen Carter. I said, he might fall to 29 now, and then somebody told me he wasn't, and I said, you're right. The only way he would have fallen to 29 is if he smoked weed on a live video, referring to Larry Tunsil did back in like 2016 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, probably not enough. And then he said, if he did what Deshaun Watson did, he would have went number 1. So I said, I just went with it. I said, nah, but if you bet on Georgia to win the national championship, he would have won undrafted.
Yeah. See, now it's like, me personally, I don't know if he's going to go first round. He'll post bail.
He will go first round. You're not going to pass up on that. His decision making is terrible. And I said if Mike Mayock and John Gruden were still leading Oakland, he would have went number 7 guaranteed if he was there.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Oakland or Vegas or whatever, the Raiders would have traded up to 1 to go take him.
I will say honestly, I'm confident in Will Anderson. I like his style of play. I like his ability.
I think than every single pass rusher next year, and was better. And he was better. He would have went above Trayvon Walker, Aiden Hutchinson, and Kayvon Thibodeau if he was out last year.
I think he would have went over Thibodeau. Yeah. I think he would have went over Thibodeau.
I don't know about Hutchinson, maybe, but he would have definitely won number 1.
I felt like he should have been in New York.
Walker.
I feel like he should have been in New York, honestly, for the Heisman. He shouldn't have won it, but he was one of the best players last year. So he should have definitely been invited.
All right, players to watch in the combine. Who you got? I really don't know.
Honestly, it's a couple players I got my eye on, honestly. It's I'll say this, and I actually have a little bit of a list right here.
Jackson Smith and Jigba is my biggest keep an eye on guy because if he does bad in testing, he's gonna fall to the second round.
I'm looking at, for instance, Nolan Smith, edge rusher from Georgia. I'm looking at Kelly Ringo, corner from Georgia. I'm looking at the running back from UCLA, Charbonnet.
Charbonnet.
Charbonnet, however you say his name. And I'm also looking at the tackle from North Dakota State, Cody Mouch. Mouch, am I saying that right?
Those are all your guys that you want for the Bucks.
No, honestly, I'm being serious. Cody Mouch his story is very, very interesting because a guy like that, no stars, hardworking, just keeps your head down and just works. He's one of those guys like what's his name? Plays for the Bengals right now. Plays lineman for the Bengals.
Kappa? No, he's not on the Bengals.
He reminds he's like Kappa, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because he's a redhead and everything. I think he's missing his front two teeth, so he kind of looks like Jack Lambert a little bit. And so yeah, he's definitely one of my guys from the FCS that I'm keeping an eye on. But yeah, Charbonnet, jeez,
It's French. French are people weird.
Charbonnet, Quentin Johnston as well from TCU, and of course all the quarterbacks. But yeah, and then even Nolan Smith, because I feel like Nolan Smith, although he's not getting the love I think he deserves, I think that tomorrow, he has a chance to really make a name for himself and improve his stock. All right, we got 52.
Yeah, my guys. Mine is Jackson Smith and Jigba just because he missed all this year, and it wasn't like Jamar. Jamar did test well, but you also knew Jamar just sat out straight. But hamstring issues are what caused Lattimore to fall outside the top 10 back in 2017. Dorian Thompson Robinson reminds me a lot of Lamar.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not just because of that one highlight where he stopped on the dime and went in, walked in easy. It's more he's a dual threat, yes. And it's just like UCLA wasn't the best offensive system this year, even with Charbonnet. So you're like, I don't know. And then you can't say anything about Hendon Hooker because he's hurt. And then I'm not a fan of Tanner McKee, so like, people can say what about him?
I will say, yeah, this kid right, Dorian. Yeah, I have to agree though, because I do remember what he looked like. Yeah, Dorian Thompson Robinson, not getting talked about enough. And he should.
Him and Jaron Hall. Jaron Hall, I said, I think a couple episodes ago, I said if Jaron Hall was on a big program and didn't do his 2-year mission with BYU, he would have been a first round pick.
It's crazy that you mentioned BYU.
We're not going to talk about Zach Wilson.
No, that's about the Jamal Williams thing of why he got kicked out.
Why?
That's just crazy. I would have never even guessed that he went there. I didn't know that. But I'm getting off
topic.
topic.
I'm curious. But anyway, let's move on to other things.
Yeah, definitely NCAA. All around. Good.
You want to talk about Deion Sanders' hypocrisy of what he thinks is an ideal quarterback?
Oh my gosh! It's so much we could say about Deion. Deion has triggered an entire group of people. It is insane. It's insane. So where do we start? Saying his quarterback needs to come from a 2-parent household, but it's quite interesting when he says it because his own starting quarterback comes from a divorced household.
His.
Exactly. Because I'm sure we all every now and again checked in on Deion's family playbook or Deion's other show he had on, I think, Lifetime or OWN. And quite honestly, we know him and Polara Sanders went through a divorce. So it just strikes me as ironic that, you know, you say a quarterback needs to come from a dual parent household, but your own quarterback comes from a divorced household where mom is not there. So it's just interesting to me. And then the other thing too is he wants to make Colorado's band out of the sonic boom of the South. That's the other interesting thing. It don't work like that. I'm sorry. It just don't work like that. So, he's gonna be in for a rude awakening. My thing is, why are we making all these demands? Why? How about we wait? Why'd your mama get kicked out? Can't spill the tea. He got kicked out for like I think drinking Coca Cola and having caffeine, and for having sex. So he had to leave BYU because you can't do any of that and go to BYU. That's why. But yeah, my thing is with Colorado. How about we just make a bowl game first? This is a team that was 1-11. Let's make a bowl game first. Let's focus on trying to get past TCU. My problem with what Dion said is he supposed to be changing stuff, not adopting. Exactly. You need to be trying to take Colorado back to what it was in the 90s and go higher than that. You talk about you want to get Colorado to a national championship. Focus on the process. Stop adopting what you saw in HBCU ball because it's not going to be the same. The vibe in Boulder is not going to be the same as what you saw when you were traveling to, in Jackson, what you saw when you were in Montgomery, in Huntsville. You're not going to see that because just Boulder is not the South. It's not. So I'm with you, Drunk. I'm 100% with you.
It's a different level in Power 5 than it is in HBCU.
It's a different level. It's a different vibe. It's a different
A
environment.
different life.
Exactly. It's a different life. It's just it's a different type of student atmosphere for the kids. I can tell you now, the vibe that Shador and Shiloh and all those kids that transferred out of Jackson State went to Colorado got in Jackson, they're not going to get it in Boulder. It's going to be different. And it's also going to be colder. It's going to be much, much colder. So, and then the whole thing where Dion was like, I pulled a police officer over because I hadn't seen the police in 3 weeks here. Did you really need to say that, man? Wait till Dion find out that losing on ESPN2 ain't the same as losing on ESPN News. Exactly. And also the fact, too, that when he loses, it's going to be dragged for days because of all these demands he's made. I'm really hoping that they put Colorado in a primetime slot, regardless of what Colorado's record is. I really hope that they put Colorado in a primetime spot against UCLA and USC this year. I'm hoping. I just want to see what's going to happen. Saturday Night Football, midseason, Colorado at or again or hosting USC and UCLA. I hope.
I thought they're in the Big Ten now.
No,
or not this year. Next year. Only the Big 12 had their change.
Yes. So Oklahoma and Texas will be gone after this year. They moved it up a year, but they had to pay I think $100K, or I think either $100K or $1 million. It had a 1 in front of it just to leave. But yeah.
All right.
I agree.
College basketball, we still on Dion.
Oh, we can flip over to this thing about Florida State voicing their unhappiness with their conference. Speaking of conferences, perfect transition point.
Sliding on over to college basketball. FSU. What's up with FSU now?
So what happened with Florida State is very unhappy right now with the ACC because of the revenue issues going on. So basically, Florida State's AD Michael Alford told his board of trustees on Friday that something has to change when it comes to closing the growing revenue gap with other conferences. Because realistically speaking, because the SEC is moving from CBS to ESPN and ABC, and then you have the Big Ten who is moving from Fox. Well, they're going to still have Fox, but they're going to be playing their games on CBS, which is going to take a whole lot of getting used to still. Um, and then they're also going to be playing their games on Fox and ESPN as well. So I think he's unhappy with the fact that the ACC is not leading the chart, or Florida State's unhappy with that. So they're not happy with the current structure. In a phone interview with ESPN last Friday, Alfred said he decided to make his comments after recent ACC winter meetings in which the athletic directors and presidents discussed an uneven revenue sharing model at length without any consensus moving forward about what to do. The issue is the ACC is going to, like I just said a few seconds ago, the ACC is going to fall behind both the SEC and the Big Ten in revenue by about $30 million per year when their new respective TV contracts kick in. Because the Big Ten's kicks in this year, the SEC's kicks in next year.
I mean, where's the line at though?
It's it's
Duke and UNC are carrying it hard right now. FSU's been having a couple of good seasons here and there, but I mean, Syracuse is like a once in a while show up.
Yeah.
Boston College has a couple maybe.
Yeah, we
But
talking
other than
about
that's not much.
we're talking about football. We're talking about in terms of basketball. Yeah, it is.
Duke is independent in football. Football.
No, Duke's an ACC school.
Oh yeah.
Duke is
Notre Dame is the independent.
Duke has appeared in one ACC championship game. Notre Dame is the independent in football, but ACC and everything else.
Now, that's where I got mixed up.
Because the thing is, now football here traditionally it's been Florida State, Clemson, and then Miami hasn't won anything since they've come in the conference. Basketball wise, it's been Duke, North Carolina, Syracuse. So, but he's right though. They are one move away from.
It's not gonna happen though, but like,
it's not. It's not. If honestly, look, Bobby Bowden didn't go to the SEC for a reason. Because honestly, he had an invite from the SEC to join. He didn't want to take it though, because he knew how brutal it was. And then the ACC is a pretty darn good basketball conference. It's just, like I said, the revenue is not there. Which brings me to the next point of there's other conferences out there that are looking at the SEC and the Big Ten deal. They're thinking about it. The SWAC should be looking at it. The ACC should be looking at it. Pac-12, Big 12. Yeah, all should be looking at their TV deals, looking at the revenue that they can get just by putting their product on TV and asking for much, much more money. So, yeah.
All right.
March Madness, March 12th, Selection Sunday. In a few weeks.
This is where the fun begins.
Yeah, it is. And some teams that are traditional powers may not get in.
That is true. Next time on the Run and Gun podcast.
I agree. So we're gonna wrap this up with topics or what?
Hot topic. What hot topics? The Lightning traded a lot for Tanner Jeannot. First round pick, second round pick, third round pick, fourth round pick, fifth round pick. So it's a bold move for the most part. They're trying to win now with maximize the core. They think he's gonna be a good forechecker, hitter. Hopefully get back to what he was last year as the leading goal scorer for rookies, albeit he was 24 then. So it's gonna be interesting to see how it works out. They have been terrible last couple of weeks, or not last couple of weeks, last couple of games. My God, my
Yeah,
bad.
probably.
They've been getting outshot like crazy. They've been like they're slow right now. Like the legs look like they're not like dead, but the league in the regular season is faster than what it is in the playoffs. So this roster is built for the playoffs with the grinders that they have.
I
So
did.
they're just trying they're trying to make it to the dance, and then they'll be fine. I think.
I watched the game a few
So
nights on Sunday when they played. I think it was the Bruins or was it the Penguins? I think it was the Penguins.
Penguins.
Yeah, dude, I changed that immediately. My Blues traded
I
everybody.
felt bad for the Blues. I know I know how it must feel, drunk. The Lightning are going to be going through that in a couple of years, and it's going to break my heart when it happens. It just looks like sometimes when teams win a Stanley Cup or whatever, it's like give it 4 years after the cup win, and everybody starts to disappear.
It's kind of crazy because if you think about it, what was that? 2019, the Blues won the Stanley Cup.
2019, best Stanley Cup outside of the Lightning ones. They beat the Bruins, happiest person out there.
Yeah, I remember that because oh my gosh, who's that the Lightning have or had that? Because he won like 3 straight cups as an individual.
Maroon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was Pat Maroon. Because that's one thing I remember vividly about that. Because I remember I was putting together my man cave back at home while the Stanley Cup with the Blues was being played. That's how I remember that so well. And then I was taking advantage of my man cave when I watched the Lightning win in 2020. It all comes together somehow. It all comes together somehow. But
Yeah, Tarasenko's gone. Ryan O'Reilly gone. Who do you got still on that team? Bennington? Bennington's too busy trying to fight everybody. Bennington's just he fell off hard. What else is there? Poor Blues. I do feel bad for them though. The Lightning also traded Vladislav Nemestikov tonight for Mickey. I cannot say his last name. Issa Monwa. Oh God, don't ask me to say it. It's terrible. Give me a sec. I will spell it out for you, but Eyssimont. Ismont? I don't know. It sounds French-ish, but he's from the US. He played in the US. I really don't know. But yeah, so that saves them some cap space, so it looks like they're gonna be going after a defenseman. So we're gonna see how it works. I kept my Twitter open trying to see if the trade will come in for what defenseman is gonna be. But I don't know. It's gonna come probably in the next 24 hours or so for that trade. It's gonna be weird to see Toronto. This is the funny thing with Toronto. Everybody's saying they're going all in. Yet they have a half new team. Like their whole bottom six is new. Like I can't see how they're gonna figure this out in 20 games or so. The chemistry needed to click in the playoffs to be able to get a proper beat Vasilevsky 4 times. You know what I mean? Like I don't think Matt Murray or Ilya Samsonov is going to be able to steal a game like how Vasilevsky would be, even if their team doesn't show up on that night.
I have something interesting here for you.
Hit me up. What we got?
Well, first let's talk about the World Series odds. So the Astros, Yankees, Dodgers, Mets, and the Padres all have the highest odds to win the World Series this coming year. The Rockies had the worst odds. Not sure where Tampa was, but Tampa was somewhere in the middle, but it wasn't the worst. But it wasn't the best either. Probably top 10.
Oh, that hurts.
Probably. But yeah, so the top 10 college football cornerbacks heading into the 2023 season list came out. And guess who checked in at number 2? Yes.
And what?
Guess who checked in at number 2 for top 10 corners coming into the 2023 season?
It's not Travis Hunter.
No, it is.
You're kidding.
I swear. Kool-Aid McKinstry from Alabama is number 1. Travis Hunter, number 2.
Yeah, I remember Kool-Aid.
Dwight McLaughlin from Arkansas is number 3. Benjamin Morrison from Notre Dame, number 4. Kalen King from Penn State, number 5. Will Johnson, number 6. Ventrell Cypress from Florida State, number 7. Josh Newton from TCU, number 8. Marcellus Dial from South Carolina, number 9. And Aiden White is number 10 out of NC State. It's interesting. Even though Travis Hunter did most of his damage as a wide receiver, but and like this could be very good or very.
It's because he's on It's because he's with Dion.
Of course. And then, of course, folks, as well, KD set to make his debut.
He already did. 23 points.
Yeah, he's making his debut tonight. I'm sure it's on.
He did make his debut tonight. It's already over.
Oh, it's already. Oh, darn. I was actually going to go tune in and watch it, but I guess, I was preoccupied doing something else. So, it's okay. Say okay. It's fine.
All right. LeBron out for 2 weeks after saying he's not going to miss a single game for the entire rest of the season to get the Lakers in the play, and I thought that was hilarious. I felt bad for him, though.
I think this is a sign that I hate to say it, but his body's breaking down.
His body's breaking down. It's the amount of injuries he's had in the last 4 seasons, I want to say.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm just like, he won his last ring in 2020. He won his last ring in 2020.
Oh, wow. These refs suck in this Milwaukee-Orlando game. They're just getting every charge. They're taking charges, and it's reality. It's a blatant block that they're calling a charge. Whatever.
But yeah, I think
he is not set. Them feet is moved. Oh my god, these refs suck.
Oh, I love when you get these Magic games.
Yeah, I'm complaining about the refs. It's bad.
I love it. I love it.
All right. Anything else for tonight? Shout out Drunk. He kept the entertainment going tonight.
Yeah, he did. This is actually a very interesting episode again.
We talked a lot of different things.
We did. We really did. And I like it. So, yeah, as you know, NFL Combine this weekend. What else we got? Oh, yeah. College basketball tournaments are going on currently. So, stay tuned with that. It's going to be interesting. That's going to determine a lot. A team like UNC needs to win out in order just to get in.
Wow.
Also, it's been announced too. FAMU's Pro Day. FAMU's Pro Day, March 30th, 2023. So, yeah, big deal. Big deal. But, yeah, folks, that's going to do it for us. Before we got in here, Ace, you got anything?
No, not really. Next week, do our thing. I don't know what we're doing for spring break. When is your spring break?
Jeez.
Mine is literally 2 weeks. After next week, the one after that.
I'm taking it 1 week at a time right now. Literally. Oh, interesting. But yeah, I'm taking it 1 week at a time, man. Next week we may have Orlando McKinley from Albany State joining us. He's on Quinn Gray's staff at Albany State, so yeah, he possibly may be joining us. But yeah, stay tuned. Keep it locked here. But yeah, folks, as always.
Be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, subscribe. If you're on Twitter, retweet or hit the link, hit the profile picture, hit the link in the bio. Subscribe to the channel. Need the help, help us out as we can. Trying to build a new form of media. No narratives, no BS. That should be our motto. No narratives, no BS.
You're on to something.
What's cooking?
Stir the pot, baby. Y'all take care. Good night.